The royal editor himself, Mr. Jobson. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Very well, Jeremy. Very well indeed.
I'm going to call you Mr. Jobson. I'm going to start slightly differently because I didn't want to offend you, because a council today has been criticised in Sutton in South London, Mr. Jobson, for telling its staff not to ask people their Christian name. It says this could be offensive, but they have been called hypersensitivity to ridiculous things. So we don't want you to get anxious or sue us, so we need to ask if you're all right with Mr. Jobson, or you're OK with Robert.
I'm fine with most things, Jeremy, so whatever you want to call me.
All right, you old bugger. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Very good. Very good.
Justine Bateman, an actress, came out today. This is because Meghan bleeding Markle and Harry, the dreary couple of miserable people who didn't want to be royals, went to America, then got very upset that nobody wanted to do, and then sold secrets, and then they got no viewers or listeners, so they got axed. She labelled them disaster tourists as they volunteered with a camera crew to go out during the LA wildfires and give out meals, and there's her sort of wiping her head, you know, and looking pained, which is fine. But Ryan made a fantastic point. If that was Kate, and there have been examples over here of quite high-profile situations, people who have suffered, you do it privately. You don't shout it from the rooftops. When all of us saw those pictures, many of us saw Meghan and Harry playing on the front line, you think you're cynically using that for your own ends. Am I being harsh or truthful?
I think they're just a bit deluded as to who they are. I mean, you know, let's be honest, the royals, sometimes a lot of people would think, well, even when the royal family go out to that flood areas, there are a number of people who would say, oh my, you know, we don't want you here, it's just causing a load of mayhem. And sometimes that doesn't look good, but I think that they handle it quite well. And I think certainly Kate, when she's gone to a situation, who's gone it mostly privately. Look, this is the couple that didn't want to be doing all this stuff. They didn't want to be royals. They insist on keeping their name, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, whatever use that is in LA. I don't know, unless you're, you know, why would you really want to do it? But then to start being royals, I mean, it's like doing these things, going out and helping and saying, what can we do? We're going to open our home up to people. Well, let's see if that actually happens. But I just thought this was just another opportunity to get in front of the cameras. And I think a lot of people in America are getting quite ground off by it, actually, and not so much. It used to just be over here, but I think people are thinking this is a little bit cynical, and it's a little bit obviously trying to get a photo opportunity to their advantage. Others might say, you know, oh well, at least they're trying to help, they're trying to do their bit.
Yes, but you do it. You do. This is. You're so privately, right, pal. You're so absolutely spot on, because of the things that have come before, because of how it seems to be, we don't want anything to do with this dreadful organisation, but we're going to use that to get a deal. We don't want publicity because it intrudes on us and causes problems, but we're going to use it for our own ends when we want to launch a cookery service or bloody jam or something.
Well, it always seems to coincide with something they're launching.
I mean, and interestingly, she had a Netflix series. What was that about, jam or something? What was the latest Netflix series?
How to cook a cake or whatever. It was pretty pathetic, but the fact that they've got to try to fulfill their obligations. You know,
yeah,
and
then she says it's not the right moment to release it. Not because it's a load of old whatever, but because of respect to the victims, and I'm out there serving food, and it just...
Well, it would have been ridiculous, wouldn't it? It would have been a ridiculous time. But, you know, what Mel Gibson said is absolutely right. I remember there were floods, I think, in Guernsey once, and you know, there was Alan Wicker, I think, lost everything he had. You know, that great guy for broadcasting, all his memories, and so it doesn't matter who you are. No. And I think that by doing what they're doing, I think people will look at this again, saying, "Look, guys, you know, just be quiet, just for 5 minutes. You know, you're not royal anymore. No. You're not anything you don't want to be. You want the titles. You want your children to be prince and princess. You want to be seen as doing royals, doing royal tours to Africa when you're not a royal. Yeah, at the same time." You want it both ways. And I think that's always been their problem. They started off when they were in the royal family doing a pretty good job. I think things are changing though, Jeremy. I mean, I'm doing another book at the moment called The Windsor Files, following up the Catherine. And I do think we're at a change at this moment in time where monarchy has got to have a good look at itself, not just the Harry and Meghan scenario, but the whole picture has got to have a good look at itself and say, where are we going? Are we going to be relevant in 50 years' time if we continue doing the same things, dressing up in the old regalia, doing the things we're doing? And I feel there is a need for a bit of a complete reboot.
Well, I'll be really outspoken because you know what I feel about the royal family after the old man and what he did. I think that Kate Middleton will save the royal family. I've always felt that Kate Middleton.
Well, no
I think it was the greatest thing in the world when, don't take this the wrong way, people listening, right, and watching, when a commoner, because that is in essence what she will have been perceived by the courtiers in times gone by, was not only allowed to marry, but has had the most astonishing impact on all of them and everybody. And I think her husband adores her. I think she and her husband will save it. She and her husband will save it.
And I think they will, because they're doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think that's certainly, I'm just talking about some of the old stuff, the dressing up and this.
Yeah, but think about this, Robert. Think about this, right? If my old man was alive today, I can guarantee when William went out with that stubble, that beard, the first time he'd have gone, my God, what's happened? No, I'm being serious.
No,
even a little thing like that, right?
And I think that, when your old man worked for the Queen Mother, I think there's a clear correlation between the Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and the Queen Mother, because the Queen Mother, remember that the King, George V, brought in, he changed it. You don't have to marry German princesses because if they changed the name to Windsor, and you can marry aristocrats. Well, that's what George VI did. He married an aristocrat. She wasn't a commoner, but she wasn't a royal princess from Germany. So therefore, in a way, in a modern way, Catherine is that same, is like that. And I think, like the Queen Mother, saved the monarchy after the abdication.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. It's your host, Adrian, here to set the record straight once again about the Sussexes and their relentless critics. Today, we're diving into the latest remarks by royal commentator Robert Jobson and TV host Jeremy Kyle, who seem determined to twist every positive action Meghan Markle and Prince Harry take into something negative. Buckle up, because this is going to be a good one. Recently, Meghan and Harry made headlines for their thoughtful and compassionate response to the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles. As active members of their local community, they reached out to show support for those affected, offering aid and resources. But instead of applauding their efforts, critics like Jobson and Kyle pounced, accusing them of hypocrisy for allegedly seeking publicity while claiming to dislike the limelight. It's almost comical how these two managed to twist a genuine act of kindness into a PR stunt. Jobson and Kyle argue that the Sussexes shouldn't participate in public acts of goodwill if they've previously expressed frustration with intrusive media coverage. But are they really comparing Meghan and Harry's outreach to disaster victims to tabloid harassment? Let's break down the absurdity of this narrative. Yet, even in the darkest of times, the human spirit shines through. Acts of kindness, big and small, emerge like beacons of hope. When disaster struck close to their California home, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did not hesitate to act. They stepped forward, offering support and comfort to those affected by the wildfires. Their actions, driven by empathy and compassion, spoke volumes. They packed meals at a local charity, providing vital sustenance to firefighters and displaced families. They also donated supplies to those in desperate need. Their response was immediate and heartfelt. They did not seek publicity or recognition. Their actions were a testament to their genuine desire to help others, to make a difference in their community. In a world crying out for unity and compassion, the response to the Sussexes' generosity was met with a discordant note. Certain corners of the media, fueled by a relentless thirst for sensationalism, chose to criticize rather than commend. Jeremy Kyle and Robert Jobson, known for their inflammatory remarks, launched into a tirade against the couple. They questioned the Sussexes' motives. They insinuated that their actions were self-serving. This was a blatant attempt to discredit a genuine act of kindness. Their words, laced with cynicism and disdain, stood in stark contrast to the spirit of generosity displayed by Harry and Meghan. This negativity felt misplaced and unnecessary. It highlighted a disturbing trend of negativity directed towards the couple. It also raised questions about the motives of those choosing to criticize rather than celebrate acts of compassion. The criticism leveled at Harry and Meghan exposed a glaring double standard within certain sections of the media. Other members of the royal family engaged in similar charitable endeavours rarely face the same level of scrutiny. Their actions are often met with praise and admiration. This disparity in treatment speaks volumes. It suggests a bias against Harry and Meghan, one rooted in factors beyond their charitable work. Their decision to step back from their roles as senior royals to forge their own path appears to have made them targets of unwarranted criticism. This double standard is not only unfair, but also detrimental to the public's understanding of the couple's genuine commitment to making a difference. It is crucial to recognise and challenge this bias to ensure that good deeds are celebrated, regardless of who performs them. Section 4. Setting the record straight, embracing service, rejecting intrusion. It's important to remember that Harry and Meghan have never shied away from public service. In fact, they have consistently expressed their desire to use their platform to make a positive impact on the world. Their decision to step back from their royal roles was not a rejection of service, but rather a rejection of the relentless and often intrusive tabloid culture that plagued their lives. They have spoken out against the harmful effects of this invasive media attention. They have sought to protect their family and their own mental well-being. This decision, while difficult, was driven by a desire to live a more authentic and meaningful life, one dedicated to their values and their commitment to making a difference. Their actions since stepping back have only served to reinforce their dedication to service. They have continued to support causes close to their hearts, using their voices to raise awareness and advocate for change. Their commitment to making a difference is unwavering. Section 5. A legacy of compassion. Actions speak louder than words. Harry and Meghan's commitment to public service is not a recent development. It is deeply ingrained in their characters and reflected in their actions over many years. From Harry's work with wounded veterans through the Invictus Games to Meghan's advocacy for gender equality and female empowerment, they have consistently demonstrated a deep-seated desire to help others. Their work with organisations like World Central Kitchen, providing meals to communities in need around the world, speaks volumes about their compassion and their willingness to roll up their sleeves and get involved. Their dedication to mental health awareness, breaking down stigma and promoting open conversations is truly commendable. Their actions speak louder than any words. They are a testament to their belief in the power of human connection and their unwavering commitment to leaving the world a better place than they found it. Section 6. The shadow of sensationalism, motives and misinformation. The criticism levelled at Harry and Meghan by individuals like Jeremy Kyle and Robert Jobson must be viewed within a broader context. Both individuals have built careers on sensationalism, often prioritising headlines over accuracy and integrity. Their attacks on the Sussexes should be seen as part of a pattern of behaviour designed to generate controversy and boost their own profiles. Their motives are questionable, their credibility questionable. By focusing on negativity and promoting misinformation, they contribute to a toxic media environment that thrives on division and negativity. It is essential to recognise their tactics for what they are: attempts to exploit public interest for personal gain. Their words should be met with skepticism, their claims scrutinised carefully. It is time to move beyond the shallow realm of sensationalism and focus on the positive contributions being made by individuals like Harry and Meghan. Section 7. Celebrating genuine efforts. A call for positivity. In a world often shrouded in darkness, it is essential to celebrate the light. Harry and Meghan, through their compassion, their commitment to service, and their unwavering belief in the power of human connection, offer a beacon of hope. Their actions, driven by empathy and a genuine desire to make a difference, should be applauded, not condemned. Let us not be swayed by the cynical voices that seek to diminish their efforts. Let us instead focus on the positive impact of their work, on the lives they are touching, and on the example they are setting for future generations. Let us choose kindness over criticism, empathy over judgment, and hope over despair. The world needs more people like Harry and Meghan, individuals who are willing to stand up for what they believe in, to fight for a better future, and to lead with their hearts. Let us celebrate their genuine efforts and support their journey towards creating a more just and compassionate world. Thanks for tuning in to Meghan and Harry Tales. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we can push back against the noise and uplift the voices of those striving for positive change. See you next time.